Welcome to the place where you, the individual atheist, can converse with me, the individual Christian. Ultimately, the agenda is how can we possibly maybe agree with each other? I'm not interested in a debate. If someone leaves a comment and it seems like they're trying to debate me, those are the people that typically I just ignore completely. The people I'm engaging with are those who want to have an intellectual, intelligent conversation despite different ends of the spectrum here. The perspective spectrum, hashtag. And now that I think about it, that's ultimately the concept. Now, recently in a video or two, I have made it very clear. I do not look down on you for being an atheist. I'm a Christian who does not look down on you for being an atheist. I'm a Christian who does not look down on anybody for any reason, because for me, fundamentally as a Christian, that instantly makes me a hypocrite. Me personally. Because I believe we're all born sinners and we all need to be saved by God's grace, but yet we have to choose to believe, and that's a phrase that I lose a lot of atheists with, because my perspective as a Christian is that it is a choice that you believe. An atheist says, well, there is no choice involved, because ultimately you can't choose to believe in something. And then that's where I say, well, ultimately, that makes me think of the people out who say, I'll believe it when I see it. No, you won't. That's not believing at that point. You can only believe in something that you don't have physical proof of, and then it's not faith, it's not belief. Like you're accepting what is likely reality. But with faith, you have to make a choice to believe. And I think by default, that's the fundamental thing that keeps atheists from converting to Christians. That's what I think is the fundamental thing. But specifically now, let's talk more about this whole thing about looking down on other people because they have a different perspective. Here's what I'm going to say to you as an atheist. This is my advice to you. This is my life advice to you. I have seen so many people, whether they're atheist, Christian, Buddhist, whatever they are, I have seen so many people in life. I'd even say by default the majority of people in this world, in this planet, in the United States, they are held back. They are held back by several things that if only their eyes were opened, they could live a little bit more free. Just to kind of give you an idea, one of my things that I talk about a lot in my other videos is that it's always a choice to forgive a person. No matter what they do to you, it's been done to other people, or maybe even worse, and those people were able to forgive the person who did that to them. Forgiveness is always a choice. Isn't that common sense though, right? You know, somebody said, well, when you don't forgive someone, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick and die. You know, if you do not forgive someone, you are holding that grudge on your shoulder. It's weighing you down. It's hurting you. They may or may not even know that you have, you know, this grudge on your shoulder. So for me, that's very basic. The right thing to do, Christian or not, is to forgive people. On that same line of thought, I say, Nick Shell says, always be ready to forgive. See, our culture teaches always be ready to be offended, don't they? Let's get offended. Let's get disrespected, hurt my feelings. Let me go on social media and talk about it and talk about what a victim I am. But I say, forget being a victim. Be victorious, because you get to decide that you're not offended, that you're not hurt. And then, imagine this, if you're not offended or hurt or disrespected, there's no reason to forgive the person to begin with, because there's no crime, there's no perceived crime committed against you. See, can we not agree on that? The whole point is to see how can we agree with each other despite our opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, surely you can have respect for what I just said. So on that same train of thought, could you agree with me that the better way to live, just like all those things I just named, a better way to live is to not look down on anyone for anything? Because the moment we look down on anyone for anything, because they have a different lifestyle or belief or whatever, that puts you in a position where now you are boxing yourself off. You're creating a hierarchy and saying, well, my way is the right way. These people, I look down on them, I'm better than these people. And I say Christianity fundamentally teaches the opposite. When we look at Jesus and he stopped the woman from being stoned for being accused of adultery, he drew the line in the sand. He says, throw the first stone if you're without sin, and they all went away. So it's so easy to cast judgment on people who we disagree with or we perceive as wrong. And that's what I say a lot of times. The culture of YouTube in general, no matter what a person is talking about, people like to troll and leave comments implying that the person speaking is wrong, ignorant, or immoral, which is why I always say I don't care about debating. I have no interest in that. I want to find out what we can agree on. That's what's actually interesting to me. So my question in this video, remember the whole agenda is what can we agree on? Can't you agree with me? Because see, many of you individually responded when I asked, do you look down on me for being a Christian? Do you, a large number of you, maybe even close to half said you do. You fundamentally look down on me because I'm a Christian. Like, you find I'm a Christian? Yep, absolutely. No matter what I believe or say beyond that, you look down on me because I'm a Christian. I accept that. I'm not offended. I'm not disrespected. My feelings aren't hurt. I have no reason to forgive you because there is no offense. But my question is, wouldn't it be better for you, the atheist, if you live your life in a way that you're not looking down on anyone for anything? That you say, you know what, I disagree with them, but I don't look down on them. I don't think that I'm better than them. I just disagree with them. Which is exactly what I keep saying in my videos about anybody, whether it's an atheist, whether it's someone that society often singles out, like the gay community. And I'm saying, yes, I believe homosexuality is wrong, but I do not believe that they should be discriminated against. And that goes for anybody that I disagree with. No one should be discriminated against. Everyone should have rights. And I think it's funny that there's certain people who don't want gay people to be able to adopt kids. Well, look, if these kids aren't being aborted, they're being born. And they're often being born into households where there's not a lot of security there and stability. And they get sent out to foster homes when they could at least be adopted by a gay couple. Like, for me, I can be open-minded enough to accept that, to say, hey, I morally disagree with homosexuality, but I think it's great that they're adopting kids because they're keeping them out of the foster system and they're providing a sense of stability. So I can exist in that place of a paradox. You're gay and you want to become president? Do it. You want to get a cake and happy wedding, do it. That has nothing to do with me. Why would I look down on somebody for that? Oh, well, because the Bible says it's a sin. The Bible says a lot of things are a sin, including pride. So the moment I say I'm better than them, I'm not better than gay people. I'm not better than people who are not gay, but they're actually straight and they're living together and not married. The Bible teaches against that. That is sinful. But I'm not here to say that I'm better than them and they shouldn't have rights and they can't have cakes and they can't become president. It's nothing to do with me. It's not about singling people out and saying I'm better than them. It's saying I disagree with them. I love them. They should not be having their rights taken away. They should be loved. Everybody deserves love and everyone should be loved. We all have things we disagree on. That's the whole point. The whole world within itself disagrees on so many things. There are certain things you can agree with me on. There are plenty you can't. And it's that way for everybody. So what I'm saying is ultimately, can you agree with me as an atheist that ultimately, if you live your life in a way that for any reason you allow yourself to look down on someone, that's really holding you back. That's really limiting you. In some way, it's still like the person who refuses to forgive someone because they don't deserve it. Nobody deserves to be forgiven. That's the whole point. It's grace. Christian theology, ideology right there. Can you agree that it's a good thing in the human experience, whether you're Christian or not, especially with you as an atheist, you're better off refusing to look down on anyone because you disagree with them for any reason, not just because they're a Christian, but whatever it is. And it's funny because it's as arbitrary as sports fans to me. I'm from Alabama. So when you're born in Alabama and raised in Alabama, you have to either be Roll Tide or War Eagle. It's all arbitrary to me. And it's that way with so many sports teams. And that's how I ultimately perceive how people disagree with each other. Like the fact that we're going to throw mud at the other person because they're on the other side of the fence. Why can't we just accept each other without looking down on each other? I say it's better to not look down on anyone, even though you disagree with them. Because if you really get to know anybody, you're going to disagree with them. But why is it there's certain things that if you disagree with them, then you can't respect them, then you have to look down on them? I submit the theory. Do not look down on anyone for any reason. Do not think that you're superior to anyone for any reason, because you're not. We're all in this thing together. That's what I have to say. Can anyone agree with that? Your comments belong right here.